So Pusey steps in, a .339 hitter. She'll get the first look at Mac Leonard. And tournament softball getting set to go here in Tally. Wow, taking the first pitch, swinging. Marist trying to be aggressive, and Bethany Keene all over that for Florida State.
Well, and as an offense, when you're going up against a pitching staff that at times you don't know who's going to throw, you want to be aggressive, especially those first couple times, 1 through 3, 1 through 4 hitters. It's like, you know, a pitcher wants to get ahead of you. So trying to zone in on a good pitch.
There's Sam Freeland, the second baseman, senior out of Delaware. Marist comes in. This is their 4th appearance in the NCAA tournament. Now, it's been a minute. No player on this Marist roster has ever played in the tournament before. Last time they were here was in 2016. Have not won a game in the tournament, but hey, that's why they're playing today. They want to change that. .2-0 count coming to Sam Freeland. That goes off the end of the bat. Harding all over it. And a play at the hot corner paying off. 2 down.
And both Pusey and Freeland swinging early in the count. Only 4 pitches thrown so far. Great grab by Harding. Doesn't let the pressure, the speed of the runner, the slapper, Freeland up the line. Cannon from 3. A couple quick outs here for Florida State.
Oh, nice play by Kaylee Harding at third. And here comes the Conference Player of the Year, Maddie Pleasance, the DP. She also has spent some time in the circle. She was one of their main arms last year when they went through a lot of injuries. We got to talk to Maddie yesterday. How fired up was she to be in this tournament?
She was, and
yeah.
I, you know, it kind of brings me back to those emotions of when you do it as a player. It's just, and that was something I got to talk to her and Haley both after when you were talking to the head coach for a little bit, and I was just could see on their faces how exciting this moment is, and I was like, y'all deserve this. Like, you got here. Remember that. You've earned that right, and just such big smiles on their faces.
1-1 coming to Pleasance. Inside. Ball 2.
And Pleasance has been money in her last 12 games, has 10 hits, 4 home runs, 13 ribbies. She's in that 3 spot for a reason. Good hitters count here at 2-1.
Three balls and a strike now to Maddie Pleasance, a .344 hitter. Facing Mac Leonard. Count runs full as Pleasance gets a piece of that. Pleasant's just a sophomore, but sounded much like an upperclassman talking to her yesterday. A very mature player. Crowd chanting K-time, and they get it. The first strikeout of the day for Mac Leonard as Florida State retires the side.
Well, and Mac Leonard getting the big strikeout, drop in, beauty of a pitch, money spot.
Nye Kerr in that 2 spot, and she leads Florida State, hitting .391 this season. Here's Mudge taking the first pitch in. Ball from Kylie Myers. This Florida State team, 50 wins on the season for the 14th time. They won not only the regular season, but also the conference tournament. They have just found different ways to win and grind out victories all season.
Well, and I think you look at the strength of schedule of this Florida State team, and it almost feels like 80% of those games were on the road. The grind of what it's like to play those top 25 teams.
This is a hopper over to Sam Freeland at second, and she takes care of business. One down.
And you're going up against a pretty good Marist defense. And they took pride in the fact that in their conference tournament last week, they did not make an error. They played clean defense. And we all know the importance of that. When you get into the month of May and you're trying to kind of ride that postseason train, it really comes down to that good, clean defense, timely hitting.
Here's Janai Kerr. Pitch up in the zone for ball one. And everything just seems a little bit bigger when you get to the tournament.
Yeah.
Every mistake is a little bit bigger. Every hit is a little bit bigger. Hopper going up the middle. She finds room, and Kerr is on. Thought about taking two. She'll go back to first.
And to me, Janai Kerr has been one of the most consistent hitters for Florida State all year long. She takes this outside pitch, she just bleeds it right back up the middle, doesn't crush it, but does enough to leg out the base hit and pass the bat to Harding.
Yeah, Kerr has now had a hit in 16 of Florida State's last 17 games, and here is Kaylee Harding. Plays a mean third base, as you've already seen for Florida State. Florida State team that hits .312 as a unit on the season. Kaylee Harding hitting .310 herself. We see Bella Mannering working behind the plate for Marist. She's back catching. We saw Shea Walsh take over that role in the conference tournament. Bella was a little banged up, but she is back there and keeping an eye on Kerr at first.
Let's go.
Mannery behind the dish has thrown out 9 of 51 base runners, 18%. So if you're Florida State, you know that.
Harding thought she got ball 4 there. Destiny Robinson working behind the plate for us in the blue today. Kylie Myers hanging in the circle, works herself a full count now after it was 3-1. Pop up straight up in the air. Mannery trying to locate it. And Maddie Gore came down.
And it just kind of comes down to the communication piece. See the first baseman Gore is kind of chit-chatting a little bit, especially with a crowd like this. There's so much that goes into those little plays, and it's communication. It's screaming as loud as you possibly can at the top of your lungs so you don't get that collision. You just want to be able to execute the easy outs. And in my opinion, that's a play that's an easy out for a pitcher, has to be made, and they made it, but a little bit of a close call.
So now 2 down with a runner on, and it brings us to the pitcher, Mac Leonard. Strike coming in from Myers. Kylie Myers, a senior. Second in the conference in ERA for Myers this season, 1.6 in conference play. I think it came back and hit her in the box. Janai Kerr got on with a single, hitting in the 2 spot today. Now Mac Leonard trying to move her and help her out, but she's behind 1 and 2.
Meyer is doing a really good job just nibbling that strike zone. That last pitch was a 1-2 pitch, a little screwball on the outside part of the plate. Good location as far as off the plate, down in the zone.
Oh, you heard the crowd. Mac Leonard got a hold of that one. Two. Haley R. working it short, and Florida State is going to leave a runner on.
They left everything out there, and that I think is the most important thing when you close that chapter of your collegiate career. How much did you put into it? You feel good about it, and that's all that matters.
First pitch strike from Mac Leonard coming into Haley R., the conference rookie of the year from Marist. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters up. Mac Leonard struck out Maddie Pleasance to end the inning in the first. What a journey for Haley R. And we were talking to her yesterday. She had an ankle injury last season, had to sit out. She said it was so tough not being able to play, but she said, I became a better teammate.
Yeah. The injury train at times can give you a different perspective when the game's taken away from you. You appreciate things a lot more.
Josie Muffley bobbles it at short, a rare sight for the Florida State shortstop. And Haley R., the conference rookie of the year, is on.
And if you're Marist, these are the little things you have to take advantage of. Haley R. has a lot of speed up the line, but Muffley goes and bobbles this. And that's a play that she makes 10 out of 10 times. But in this situation, the ball ate her up a little bit, and the leadoff is on here for Marist.
And reaching on the East 6, it brings us to Alyssa Grupp. Kruppa Jr. back in her home state, a native of Jacksonville, Florida. Hopped over to Devin Flaherty. He'll make the tag, looking for 2, not in time to first.
Devin Flaherty tries to double up, but some good speed up the line by Grupp.
So one away, Grupp reaching on the fielder's choice, brings us to Shea Walsh. She'll pull it down the right field line. Bethany Keene with the hustle, laid out for it. Oh, did she foul ball? Yeah, so she's going to come back, and either way, Bethany Keene getting a little standing ovation here from the Florida State fans. Foul ball, though.
I love it. Loving these camera angles. Just lays it all out. Sticks with the play regardless if it's foul or fair. You love to see it. Solid hustle. Kind of went on her back a little bit. Rolled off. Made the play, but ended up being a foul ball. But it's those little things that can fire a pitcher up, get the group going, laying it all out there.
Hey, how many times do we replay a foul ball?
I know.
That one was worth it for sure. Shea Walsh, we mentioned the senior out of New Jersey, caught in the tournament because their catcher was banged up. And Joe Asanio, their head coach, told us, I mean, she's got a great arm back there. Kind of a utility player for them.
Such good spots by Mac Leonard. And that's a pitch that she really developed in the off season, that drop ball, which I'm a little jealous of. It took me almost 3 years to learn that pitch, but just the bite that she has on that, the ability to hit great spots, throw pitches on the corner, just kind of goes to show how great the body awareness is for her to be able to pick up that pitch within a couple months. You know my thought. I do. I got to side with the pitchers up here in the booth. I mean, this is a pitch that you want your catcher to continue to try to keep getting for you. This is a drop ball on the outer half. Enfield behind the dish does such a good job getting behind it, but continuing to try to keep working to get it.
Keene challenged again, this time in fair territory, and she makes the play. Well, this Marist team, led by Joe Asanio in his 15th season, actually played for the New York Yankees for a little bit. And I asked him, Coach, how'd you get into coaching softball? And he said, well, he just kind of fell into it. Became an assistant at Marist for one season, and then they asked me to stick around as the interim in the fall, and, well, I haven't left.
Here I am.
But he loves it. I mean, there's such a great approach this program has. You can tell there's a love and a passion for softball within Marist.
And he likes to bring a little bit of a baseball flavor, and he says that. He says he teaches some different things that are baseball in the hitting department.
Can we have a moment for that? Did you see that?
I did. The first strikeout was Alex Rodriguez.
All right. Shout out to our graphics producer, Brett, for dropping that knowledge on us.
I'm more of a Derek Jeter fan, but still.
Okay. Well,
you know, still pretty good.
Bella Mannery is at the plate right now as Joe Asanio talking to the home plate umpire, Destiny Robinson. Okay.
Wow.
Brett says I raised you this graphic, Danielle.
No big deal. I was a big fan of Mariano Rivera that I ended up choosing his walkout song for my last year in the Olympics in 2020. A little.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yep.
Ball and 2 strikes to Mannery. What was the song?
It was the Enter Sandman.
Oh.
Where he's running from the pen and just the whole Yankee Stadium just erupts. I read his book that Olympic year. I mean, big Mariano Rivera fan over here. Like you put me on the spot there, though, trying to see if, you know, I just said it to say it or if I you know, really knew.
We're all about the facts here.
I know you are. Sometimes you could throw something out there, but.
2-2 to Bella Mannery. Josie Muffley fielding that one cleanly this time, and Florida State avoids any damage done by the error. We are scoreless. Seminoles
made it through. I do actually still get very nervous not playing anymore, just because you know what these athletes are feeling and how much goes into it.
Bottom of the second inning here, our first game in Tallahassee. Courtney Lyle, Danielle Laurie with you. Devin Flaherty is going to lead off here for Florida State. They left a runner on. It was Janai Kerr in the first inning, facing Kylie Myers of Marist. Devin Flaherty sped her way home from first to make sure that Florida State won the ACC Tournament Championship game. That just fell. That was a wild game to watch.
Yeah.
This is a player that just works year after year.
And someone that had got challenged at the end of last season. Coach Lonnie Alameda had to have a really tough conversation with Devin Flaherty just about leadership and needing her to be better. And sometimes I think those conversations can be taken two ways. Like, wow, I'm really offended, or, okay, I totally hear you. Like, I got to get to work. And that was the attitude for Devin Flaherty. And she's just been a completely different player. Coach Lonnie Alameda just said how proud she is of her for hearing the message and going to work on it, and now being such a different leader for this team in 2023. Sometimes it's tough when people tell you things that you don't want to hear.
Sure.
Especially being a younger athlete, right? Like, you think about the older you get, it's a lot easier to hear feedback and understand, but sometimes when you're 18, 19, 20, and you've only known something kind of one way,
we've kind of seen it over and over, though, with Lonnie Alameda. She's so good at challenging her players because they know she cares so much about them.
Yeah. There's not many that are like Coach Lonnie Alameda. And there's Ellie Cooper, who was beside her there. Starting to get a lot of Florida State alums in the picture. Ellie Cooper, who's also kind of like the mental performance coach and really helps dive deep into that piece of the game. Kaylee Rafter, who's coaching first base, is the volunteer assistant, but played at Florida State. There's just a lot of history, and you're starting to see that a lot more around the game.
Flaherty going after it in this at-bat.
And this is exactly what you want out of a leadoff hitter, especially at the bottom of an inning. Scrappy, seeing a ton of pitches, going on that 8th pitch of this AB. And those are the little things that spark an offense, give you confidence, get you going. It's those long, lengthy ABs making the pitcher work.
This one fired right at Maddie Gore, hops into her glove. A tough AB, though, for Devin Flaherty to lead off this inning.
And sometimes you look at those ABs as, man, I got out and it's a failure. But in all reality, she crushed that to the right side and saw a lot of pitches. So it's more so about adjustments, passing on to teammates. Okay, hey, what did I see off of Myers? And being able to give that information so your teammates can make adjustments.
Hallie Waycaser fouls off the first pitch. You see her average 333. Last season, she hit 167. What a difference for Waycaser. Looking towards right field. And Shea Walsh is underneath it, 2 down. Kylie Myers and her defense only giving up 1 hit so far in this game. That was in the first inning. Looking confident out there.
But if I'm Myers, I'm well aware of who's stepping in. And you know that Michaela Edenfield leads this team in home runs and in RBIs. And with 2 out, you just got to be careful.
Yeah, they've renamed the area over the outfield fence Area 51 because she hits so many home runs out there, and she's number 51. I love it when things work out like that.
It's just all of it. She's so spunky, so much fun to watch, a lot of personality.
Nice.
And nowadays, I mean, we have so much information out there. 6'4", you look at how much Michaela Edenfield pulls that ball to left field 58% of the time, Area 51 all day. But if you're a pitcher and you're doing your homework heading into games, you've seen those charts. You know, hey, she tends to be a little bit more of a pull hitter. So if I'm going to throw to the inner part of the plate, it's got to be way in. You probably want to kind of move on the outer half maybe a little bit more, but if you bring it in, it's got to be way in on the hands.
2-2.
Just seeing a little bit of just still in the bottom of the second, maybe some inconsistency behind the plate for these pitchers, trying to find pitches that they can get for a strike. I like that pitch. I think that's a good spot at that count.
There she is going way inside. This is the pitch before the last one you just saw.
Like, that's a strike. And you can see the frustration. I'm with you, coach, because those are pitches that, against a hitter like that, you want to get called.
And that's ball 4. First walk issued by Kylie Myers. Important to note, too, Joe Asanio, he does call the pitches for Marist.
And I don't know, maybe it's low, Courtney, but this is right down the heart of the plate. That's back-to-back pitches that Edenfield did not swing at that I think she could have got rung up on.
So second time a Florida State batter has reached, and that brings us to the number 8 hitter, Bethany Keene, the first baseman. And Kristen Erb is going to head out to the circle in her second season with Marist.
And I think it's just a quick interaction of, hey, like, you're good. You may be getting pinched a little bit. You're throwing great pitches. Just continue to keep doing what you can. Try to hit great spots. And if we get to this point in the season and miss spots or pitches that maybe you normally get called for strikes or things that are rattling your cages, then you're not in a position to be able to come in and try to beat the big dogs. It's understanding as part of the game. Yes, you want those pitches, but having that relationship with the catcher behind the plate, you keep talking, you try to say, hey, Manry, keep working behind the dish, get me those pitches, keep having my back. I mean, you heard me talk to Keely Rafter about that, who is my catcher with Canada, who coaches first base for Florida State, the volunteer. I said, even if you have to fake it for me, Rafter, I want you to still try to give me that pitch. It's all about filling the bucket up for me here.
And it's good that, as we said, Marist has their normal everyday catcher back and Bella Mannery behind the dish. She knows these pitchers so well. 7 straight balls. And there's a strike.
And a stolen base there by Edenfield. Puts herself in scoring position at a hitter's count with Keene. But we just need to see a little bit of consistency. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to harp on anything, but the pitchers deserve the right to know what the strike zone is, right? What pitches they can get for a strike.
That's ball 4. So back-to-back walks now for Kylie Myers.
And this is when it can start to get tough, because you don't want to give up those free passes when you know the top of the lineup is soon approaching. And Josie Muffley's in the 9 spot for a reason. She's scrappy. She turns that lineup over almost like a triple threat down there.
Look, and she's got some power, too. 2 of her last 4 hits are home runs. Those are only 2 home runs of the season, by the way. 2 runners on, both reaching via the walk.
Myers having a tough time right now. Just cruised through that first inning and got the first couple outs, and then since then is really trying to figure out what she can throw for a strike. I don't know if she's pressing or trying, because sometimes you get into that mentality where you know you're not getting pitches, and yet again, I mean, this is where you start to get in trouble. When you're playing with fire, sooner or later you're going to get burned. That's back-to-back-to-back walks. to roll it over to the top to Kaylee Mudge, who truly is the spark plug of this team. And Coach Lonnie Alameda said that to us yesterday. We go as Mudge goes. She puts a lot of pressure on herself because she expects a lot. But this weekend, the key to having success is this player right here.
Hey, keep in mind, as we mentioned, Marist is without Callista Phippen, one of their main pitchers. She had the most innings pitched. She is out with an injury for the tournament.
There it is.
So the bullpen limited for the Red Foxes. That's a good sign. Kylie Myers coming back, throwing that first pitch strike.
Have to. Dirty.
2 in a row.
And the change piece, Court, that's the first one she's thrown on the day. She sneaks it in there, and I'm not opposed to seeing that pitch again. You locate something down low in the zone.
Mudge lets that one go by. Kaylee Mudge, by the way, 4 for 5 with 8 RBI with the bases loaded this season.
Yeah, she knows the situation well. Big pitch coming here.
2-2. Mudge, shallow left field, lifting it to Hannah Brock. And Marist gets out of a jam. Kylie Myers fighting back and her defense backing her up. We are scoreless.
As well as Texas. I mean, you can't deny that the Big 12 has showed up when they've needed to, when it is postseason time.
Yeah, no question, Oklahoma is the big one you want to beat.
Yeah.
And you got to do it twice. Remember, every round of this tournament, double elimination. Same here in the regional round. Each team will at least get 2 games. And first pitch coming in for Mac Leonard here in the third to Hannah Brock, the left fielder, who just made the play to get out of the jam for Marist. And that was big. I mean, Florida State with the bases loaded, a huge opportunity they didn't take advantage of.
And it's finding ways to be better, meaning back-to-back-to-back walks to walk the bases loaded can hurt you. So seeing that you were able to get out of an inning like that for Marist, you want to be able to change the mentality when you're heading into the bottom of the third and don't want to continue to keep kind of playing on that side. You need to be smarter when it comes to hitting good spots. Obviously a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone. But still, this is an opportunity here for Marist. Try to make something happen here in the top of the third.
Mac Leonard ahead, and that's her second strikeout of the day. She sits down Hannah Brock.
And this pitch, in my opinion, Courtney, it almost seems untouchable, especially at a count like this. Like, look at the location and the movement of this ball down in the zone. It almost tails more in on the hands. Like, that's filthy. Her drop ball into those left-handed hitters is so good.
Maddie Gore likes the first pitch, skied it up, but Kaylee Mudge underneath it. And going back to Mac Leonard, this is her second season with Florida State. She's a grad student now, spent 3 seasons at Illinois State. Working in the circle, working with her bat. One of those unicorn players, pitchers that hit.
Very rarely do you get to see those two-way players anymore.
Here's the top of the order, Peyton Pusey. Pusey took the first pitch she saw, first pitch in the game, over to first base.
And Leonard's been doing a good job at throwing those first pitch strikes. I mean, 7 out of the last 10 batters she's faced. She's attacked that strike zone. She's gotten ahead. Obviously understands the success when you get ahead of the hitters. And this is a Florida State team that tends to pitch by committee, maybe a lot more than any other team in the country. You're starting to see the rise of just the pitch by committee mentality. And I like it, don't get me wrong. Did I love the days when it was the one arm and that pressure for that one person? Yes, but now the game's changed. Hitting has definitely gotten better than pitching. So I think you have to respect the matchups, and that's what Coach Lonnie Alameda, I feel like, does such a great job of, is being able to utilize all different pitchers. I mean, there's 7 pitchers on staff, 4 of them with 40+ innings on the year. And when you have that, you really can kind of be the mastermind or the puppet master behind who you're facing, and being very smart with those matchups. And that's what it's going to take to potentially beat a team like Oklahoma. Like, I don't think there's a team in the country right now with one pitcher that has it in them to take down that offense and beat them twice in a row. I think it's going to come down to maybe 3-4 pitchers that can really work their magic to try to beat an offense like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So the last couple of years we talked about, well, hitting's ahead of pitching. And now with this idea that, I mean, you used the term yesterday that, I mean, Lonnie Alameda really put the pitch by committee idea on the map. Yeah. And now it's catching on as the pitchers try to catch up to the hitters.
And I think that might be what it is that allows for more of an even playing field than maybe what we've seen. And even when we asked her about it yesterday, she said it started when she was our coach with the USSSA Pride back in the day. And she said it came down to this mentality of, how can I get a player like Kaylani Ricketts and Kat Osterman to have the mentality to go out and execute 25 great pitches or 75 good pitches? And sometimes it's breaking that down.
Yeah, I liked how she said that too. She said, I need the ego of a pitcher for 23 pitches.
Yep, yep.
I love it.
Well, and sometimes that's a hard thing to teach.
Yeah.
And that's something when you come into Florida State, that's what it's about.
Peyton Pusey with a great at-bat, and she will walk.
It's a really great job by Pusey, especially you see her swinging at the first pitch right out of the gate.
That was an 8-pitch at-bat.
And then she works herself her second at-bat, and you talk about adjustments, AB to AB, and that's the prime example right there. And that's all about sparking the offense, getting the rest of the ladies on your team fired up, showing that you're seeing the pitcher well.
Back to Sam Freeland, who will see Mac Leonard for the second time. 3 batters have reached for Marist. No hits, though. It was an error, a fielder's choice, and then that walk. And a quick huddle up in the infield for Florida State.
I like this timeout by Michaela Edenfield. She's so good behind the plate with just the tempo of learning the pitchers, working with 7 different pitchers. Speed dating at its finest.
Yes. I mean, love it when Lonnie Alameda calls it that.
Yes, and you have McKenna Reed in the bullpen warming up, but every pitcher is completely different, and it is a catcher's job, and that relationship, that 2-against-1 mentality, really get to know the pitchers.
This one will go back to Mac Leonard fielding her position, and Marist.
Freshmen and where they're at, and that's always really fun.
Florida State and UCF, both in the field.
Yeah.
Next year. But hey, we got a postseason to play first.
We do.
Janaiker is back in the box for Florida State. She's the only one in this game to have a hit. That was her first at bat. Florida State left the bases loaded in the last inning. How'd you think Kylie Myers handled that situation in the circle last inning?
The one thing that I will say is the body language stayed the same. And I think that that's such an important piece when you're going up against a tough team that maybe you're not used to facing, to be able to have that confidence in the circle regardless of what's going on. The fake it till you make it mentality, because a team like Florida State will eat you alive if your emotions are playing you out there in the circle, or you're letting the umpire frustrate you. So it's just being able to kind of keep that calm presence, and every pitcher is completely different. Like, I love me an emotional pitcher too, like someone that is just the energy, the fired up. but really impressed with Myers and just how she's kept her composure regardless of a bases loaded situation or nobody on.
Kerr looking towards left, Hannah Brock underneath it. And Myers threw 32 pitches in that second inning, 17 balls and 15 strikes. She walked 3 batters in a row to load them up.
And then it's being able to go into the dugout, Courtney, and just take a breather and like talk about it. Talk about the situation, get on the same page with the catcher, communicate. If you need those pitches, hey, continue to keep working that zone for me to Mannery. And like I told you, sometimes for the catcher to even pretend like they're going to get you the pitch can give you.
Kaylee Harding liked that one. The first pitch, she's being aggressive to get on, and Florida State has its second hit of the day.
Kaylee Harding just jumps on this pitch right out of the gate. I love me a good slow-mo. His pitch up in the zone, just turns on it. Almost looked like it was like a kind of like an off-speed pitch that was elevated, not fooled at all by it, just turns on it.
Brings us to Mac Leonard, the pitcher. The second time through the order, Florida State can be a dangerous team. They make good adjustments, they have good communication. Leonard looking for fair territory, won't find it. I thought that might drop in front of the party porch over there. It's a nice addition for Joan Graff Field.
I mean, I know you said it, but I mean, tickets sold out within 5 minutes of being put out there for this regional.
Is this a BYOC situation? Bring your own chair? Bouncing it off the wall, Mac Leonard. Speeding home is Harding, and Florida State leads it. #15th double of the season for Mac Leonard, helping her own cause with her bat.
Well, and it's the unicorn, the two-way player, Mac Leonard, that steps up, pitch elevated up in the zone, almost takes Myers' yard. It's a game of inches, but this Florida State team leads the nation in doubles, that being their 111th on the season. She comes up clutch to score the first run here for Florida State.
Oh, Devin Flaherty just got the tiniest piece of it, and she beats it out. Runners on the corners. Here come the Seminoles.
Well, and you know when Devin Flaherty gets on base, I mean, she's 27 of 28 stolen bases on the year.
9th in career stolen bases at Florida State with 80.
And almost a sure thing. And now you got a first and third situation here with Mac at 3 and Flaherty at first, where you can try to just challenge the defense a little bit.
And a hot hitter in Hallie Waycaser coming up. Space in right, and she finds it. Another run coming across. Flaherty pushing home, no problem. Floodgates are open in Tallahassee.
Sometimes that's all it takes, is just one hitter getting a good piece, and Harding led this team off. Waycaser coming up, this ball bleeds over the heart of the plate. Good pop. Hits it to that right side, falls in front, but a lot of speed on the bases. That little bobble by Walsh, I think, means the difference between a run scoring and a run not.
That gets away from Mannery on the pass ball, and it moves Waycaser to third. You blink, and just like that, 3 runs have come across for Florida State. And Joe Asanio out to the circle to talk to Kylie Myers.
Just trying to go out and kind of calm the pitcher down. Every pitching coach likes to go out and say different things. Some trying to kind of bring the moment down a little bit, take a little pressure off. He's going out there and he's going at her, telling her probably to hit great spots, continue to keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, I will say some of those hits that have happened have been pitches that are left over the plate, right? And if that happens, especially when you get to this time of the season, teams are going to execute when the ball misses, and this is a situation here with Edenfield. I think he wanted to just go out and talk shop a little bit.
Scoring-wise, it is going to be a single and then an error that advanced Waycaser to second, so 1 RBI. She advances to third on the pass ball. Michaela Edenfield wanted to eat that thing up. It's a dangerous area.
Wouldn't that be something? She just hits the top of the parking lot.
Remember where that alien you took a photo of yesterday? It's out there.
Like that's a strike. And I say that because you're supposed to have the top of the uniform to the bottom of the knees. And that's a pitch when you see Edenfield standing in there. Myers, you go back to last inning, was struggling against Edenfield and walked her on a couple pitches that were close.
She liked that one. She liked it so much, she sent it to the parking lot. Michaela Edenfield, 2-run bomb.
Well, just like that, we have a 5-0 ball game. She goes on the outer half to this pitch, goes with it, sees it a little deeper in the zone, takes it to right center. Just goes to show how strong she is. Her 11th home run of the season.
Danielle, last 4 games, Edenfield was 0 for 8.
And sometimes that's all it takes, though. It just takes that one big swing to put you in a position to get rolling, feeling good, and not letting something like that determine where you're at, because this is a game of failure, especially in the hitting department. You can be putting good swings on it and still finding yourself getting out. And big swing there. Wow.
Her team leading 11th long ball of the season. And this is Katie Dack, who has come in the 8th spot. The transfer from Texas A&M.
The birthday girl by the sounds of it. The whole crowd singing happy birthday.
Dack got into the transfer portal late, did it in the fall semester, so wasn't with the team until January. She's 4 for 11 as a pinch hitter this season for Florida State. I've just been impressed, though, how she's acclimated so quickly. And Lonnie Alameda told us, look, we made sure in the fall to FaceTime her into team meetings. Yep. We set up a phone so she could watch practice. She's like, I'm not sure how much she could see on the cell phone, but...
But it's just being there, being present, understanding what's going on, knowing that even though it may be difficult, like you're still making that effort to try to make her feel connected. So when she did get here in January, she felt good. And it is, like, you think about the work that goes into the fall and the winter days leading up to when you depart in February and you start playing. Like, those are some dark days, September, October, November, December, of the grind. So when players like that miss it, sometimes you're like, all right, what's it going to be like when they get here? They haven't been able to be a part of some of these things. She's found herself in a good spot here at Florida State.
Yeah, just one season for the Aggies at Texas A&M. She was a second-team All-SEC selection there. Full count from Kylie Myers to Katie Dack. Shea Walsh blocking the sun to make the catch. Joe Asanio, the head coach of the Marist Red Foxes. We will talk to him when we on the other side, right after this out, the start of the 4th inning. Got this program back to the NCAA tournament. Now Josie Muffley, the 9th spot.
Quite the turn of events here for Florida State. Really making Myers work here, going on her 73rd pitch, just through 3.
And 32 of those came in the 2nd inning, and then Florida State has figured it out here in the 3rd. 5 runs, all of them coming in this inning, highlighted by a 2-run home run by Michaela Edenfield. Two to Muffley. Foul ball, but just barely. You talked about it, Danielle. Kylie Myers, just the same body language.
Yep.
Love that.
Yep, good presence out there, and I think that this allows your teammates out there to feel good too, knowing that's not this big emotional roller coaster. Teams play off of energy at times, so don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love a pitcher that tends to just stay kind of even keeled, but I also love that emotional pitcher sometimes that really gets fired up, and you'll see teammates fueled off of something like that, but everyone finds their own little twist to make them successful out there.
Two again for Muffley. Foul. We'll do it again.
I mean, she's working both sides of the field well. I mean, it's been a game of inches when she pulled it left, and then she does the same thing going to right. Going on the 9th pitch, yeah.
Last 6 games, Muffley's hitting .375. Already reached on a walk today. 10th pitch coming.
I'm wondering where that little changeup's gone. We saw that pitch last inning, and she sniped it in there at the 0-1 count to get ahead 0-2. We really have not seen it since then. And now's the time to change speeds.
Shallow left on the 10th pitch of the at-bat for Josie Muffley.
You know, we worked so hard this year. You know, we've battled some injuries and had some adversity, had a tough spring break playing a lot of really good teams. So I just feel like you can't be more proud of a group of young ladies than this team, because, you know, what they've accomplished and what they've persevered through.
Coach, adjustments you want to see kind of going through this second, third time through the lineup for your hitters?
Yeah, you know, I thought we've put some pretty good swings on her. You know, we had a hit and run on, we hit it right at somebody, and I feel like honestly we're going up there with good approaches, and hopefully we can get something to fall in and play a little bit better defense right now.
Coach, there's a tiny baby on your head.
Yeah.
What's that about?
They abuse me. I don't know. This is their time to get back at me, I guess. Their 30 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Look, Coach Asanio, he's a very interesting guy. I loved talking to him yesterday.
Yes.
We mentioned playing for the Yankees. We kind of buried the lead. Wrestling. That's how you say it correctly.
That's how you say it correctly?
Yeah, wrestling. No, it's wrestling.
Okay, I was going to say, she's pitched 3+ innings 4 times this year. And one of them was shutting out UCLA. So just kind of goes to show this is a comfort thing for her. She kind of understands what her role is. It tends to be 3 to 4 innings. She executes that well, and then they usually tend to go by committee.
This one goes right back at Mac Leonard, making it look easy. She retires Pleasants. Some defensive changes, too, for Florida State. Hartley now at third base. Harding has moved over to first base.
I mean, she made this look swaggy. Whoop. This is a good piece by Maddie Pleasance, but Mac Leonard with the rob job up the middle, just sticks her glove out. That's a base hit, no doubt.
Did you see the smile on Devin Flaherty's face at second?
Yes.
She ran over and then she saw
the quick scoop.
Yeah. This is Haley R. You know, talking to these players, they talked about, as none of the players on Marist's roster had been in the tournament before. They said, I know what it's like. I've watching it on TV, watching the selection show, getting to see other people's names called. And we asked him, you know, who did you grow up watching? And, you know, Jenny Finch's name came up, Monica Abbott's name came up, Danielle Laurie's name came up.
I mean,
and there is Haley R. and Danielle.
Look at that. She's just adorable.
What a little nugget. So cute. R with a big swing, almost back to the warning track, and she's retired by Waycaser.
And I know what everyone's thinking watching, that I have not aged much. That was in 2010. That was 13 years ago. I think you look better. I'm thinking the same thing that everyone else is thinking, if we're just being real up here. No, but I think that is honestly the best part about this job. When you get to meet these athletes that kind of watched you when you were in your playing days, and then you meet them, and now they get this opportunity. There's nothing more special about that. And Asanio asked me that. He goes, how's it feel like when you get, and to me, it's like letting these women know that they're role models for players like my daughter, and how important it is to take the time to connect with the fans and the little kids, and flashing a smile and signing an autograph, regardless of the outcome of the game. Those kids still want to see you. They don't care if you go 0 for 4, you go 4 for 4. That connection lights up those little kids' life, and that to me is my favorite part about the game. Besides, obviously, I love winning too, but you know.
Really?
I mean, you know.
It's a new one. Didn't know that about you.
Especially on the Peloton leaderboard up against you. Just saying.
You're going to crush me every time.
Just saying.
Hey, on the pitch before that one, Mac Leonard didn't get the call she wanted. I like she turned around, she put her hand out and said, hey, everybody calm down. It's okay. I really liked that moment from her. She just seems in control out there.
And when you have a 5 spot, it allows for you to feel different.
Yeah. Slow roller to Harding. And the side is retired. We will talk. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. Florida State able to put up 5 runs in the 3rd inning, and we're joined now by Florida State head coach Lonnie Alameda. And we saw Michaela Edenfield go yard. That's what she does. But everything she does behind the plate, with all the pitchers that you have, I mean, she's such an unsung hero. What have you seen from her?
Yeah, I mean, dependability, toughness. she's a people person. Most catchers are, you know, deep in their heart, right? Because they got to connect with so many of the pitchers. So just willing to give her all for them. It's pretty awesome to see. But yeah, that was a nice swing.
Coach, talk a little bit about obviously getting to host yet again another regional, but tickets sold out within 5 minutes. Look at this crowd at 4 o'clock on a Friday. Like how special these types of moments are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I pinched myself. I was talking to Ellie Cooper a little bit. Like, it wasn't like this, you know? People just, they enjoy it so much. And to see them lined up for hours before just so they can rush in and get a seat here. And we need more seating, you know? We know that, and we're working on it. But I think it's a special thing. You see the parking garage. They come and put their trucks up there. And some of them have tickets here, but they like it up there. So it's kind of fun. So a cool atmosphere.
Well, that's because there's a recliner in the one of those chairs. Thanks, Coach O. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Yeah, it's incredible, and a lot of this has to do with the belief that Florida State put in their softball program and what Lonnie Alameda has done.
For sure. I mean, this is Joanne Graff Field, and Joanne Graff helped really lay the foundation for what she wanted Florida State softball to be. And when Coach Lonnie Alameda got this opportunity, I mean, she just continued to keep putting Florida State on the map year in and year out. And the one thing I know about winning the first national championship for university, I was a part of the Washington one back in 2009, the first and the only. You never forget about those that paved the way to get the program to that point in time. And that's something that Coach Lonnie talks about all the time, just Joanne Graff and the history of this program and the players that come before you, because without them, you aren't in the spot that you're in to be able to fight for that national championship in 2018. So it's a belief in the leader of your ship for someone like Lonnie Alameda and Coach Asanio. Like, you have to have that feeling in your gut as an athlete when you're making that commitment to dedicate 4 years of your life. You got to believe in what those coaches are giving you. And Florida State's a special program, and it was really cool to see them win that Natty in 18.
Yeah, and they had 2 AIAW championships before that in the 80s. A lot of history here with Florida State. Top of the order. Kaylee Mudge up for the 3rd time. Sam Freeland working on the play at second. Adjustments always important. First time through the lineup, 1 hit for the Seminoles. Second time through the lineup, 5 hits, 5 runs.
Well, and that's when you know you're playing a potent team. They don't get down on themselves that first time through, regardless of the outcome or who got hits. But it's that second time, and that's when you really start to see the true leaders in this game that step up that second time, making those adjustments, making a pitcher work. And the best teams in the game do that. And as a pitcher, when you're out there on the opposing team, it's like, oh, wow, I executed first time through, but hey, we're always thinking what's next. Okay, that first AB against Kaylee Mudge sets up what? And the second AB sets up this third at bat here. There's always so much that needs to be thought about in the circle, even when the pitching coach calls the pitches.
You know, that 1 hit the first time through the order, that was from Janai Kerr, who is up right now. The confidence that she has grown this year, incredible. Hit one right back to Myers in the circle, and it pops off her glove, and she'll reach safely for the 2nd time. So 3 straight games now for Janai Kerr with multiple hits. Single in the first, a single here in the 4th. Brings us to Kaylee Harding. Had the first hit in the 3rd inning that kind of got things moving there for Florida State.
And when we asked Coach Lonnie Alameda just about Janai Kerr and kind of the difference in this young lady and what's been able to make her so consistent this season, she said it's come down to the confidence piece and the routine. And for the athlete in general, sometimes you're going to struggle in this game, but it's wanting to continue to put in the work regardless of the outcome. and then seeing it come to play in a season like this. So you go look at the off-season grind that Kerr was doing with the volunteer assistant Kaylee Rafter at first. I mean, she's hitting every single day with her. And those are the things that you believe in the moments when your name's called or when there's bases, you know, a runner on third, 2 out, you believe, hey, I've earned this right. I've put in that work.
And remember her journey too. I mean, she was one of the top recruits coming out of high school, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then in 2021, she tears her ACL after 4 appearances. And last year she had to work back from that injury. I mean, it's a lot to bear coming in, and not to mention adjusting to the college game.
Injuries are a whole other can of worms to try to deal with when your body may not do what you want it to do and you're going through rehab. And then I think a big moment for Kerr was when she stood up in front of the team and said how going through that adversity as an athlete put her in a position to be the player that she is now. And the verbiage is real. When you hear someone that's gone through it and they say it, I think it puts you in that position. If you have to go through it, hey, my teammate's done it.
Harding, left field, touch 'em all. Double-digit home runs this year for Kaylee Harding. That's her 10th.
This was an absolute tank. This hit the sidewalk in left field. Watch the bounce back of the ball when it bounces up. I mean, that is like, we're talking 240 feet. And I like this change. Obviously, we know that the 8-run rule could be in effect. So I think to be able to make the change when Florida State's been putting good barrel on it.
And Mac Leonard takes the first pitch out to Peyton Pusey in center.
For Pleasance, like I said, as that great body awareness, mixes the ball around the zone well, can go up, can go down. Just being able to come into a game like this, regardless of what the score is, and just attacking that strike zone, getting ahead of hitters.
Well, she talked about how important their spring break tournaments were for her. They came down to Florida and played 10 games. And she said, I looked at it as I'm going to come out and I'm going to focus on my next pitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to have fun and I'm going to focus on throwing this next pitch. And I thought that was a great mentality.
Well, they're not getting caught up. I mean, when you're playing Texas and you're playing UCF, and sometimes you can get caught up in some things. And I think when you're able to have that mentality of, hey, I just got to own the next pitch, just own the next pitch. If we're living in the past as a pitcher, really hard to be successful in this game because it is a game at times of failure where the struggle is real. So to be able to have that short-term memory as a pitcher is so important.
Pleasant's trying to refocus here. 3 balls and a strike to Flaherty. They say fair ball, and they say that Flaherty is safe. She was not tagged. And able to stay in the runner's lane. And Joe Asanio is going to come out and talk to the home plate umpire.
We'll get a couple good angles with great camera crew here today. And I like Coach Asanio being able to go out and just chat with the 4 umpires. Usually you're seeing 3 umpires, but we have 4 in the postseason. And you see Gore go and field it, but I mean, she gets out there pretty far.
Yeah. Now they can go and review if the tag hit her.
But I think, I mean, Ron White seems to have the best view in the house, taking a peek at where she's at, getting out of the runner's lane. And when she moved out of the way, I mean, she moved way outside there. Obviously, you don't see a tag. That's why he puts the safe. But we have the replay review at the different regional sites.
So they're taking a look at this play.
And everything is...
I'm not sure what they can look at what involves the runner's lane.
Well, if the runner is way outside of the lane, she would be out.
I know, but is that something you can review? I don't know, honestly. I know the tag, obviously, they can look and see if this touched her.
And we'll say usually these replay reviews are done pretty quick, so we're taking a little bit more time.
They are at a centralized location. All the replays are being done in Pittsburgh. And the original call was safe at first. Looks like they have a decision. The call is upheld.
In that case, when she went to go reach for the tag, still in that runner's lane, obviously there was no contact. We saw that from the jump. And it's making sure if you are that first baseman, contact no matter what. Running into the runner, making sure two hands are in the mitt. So if you have to follow her outside of the line, you still feel like you have good control of the ball. I like the challenge by Coach Asanio. Why not?
Now you get 2 challenges per game, and then starting in the 6th inning as Flaherty goes safe. Starting in the 6th inning, the umpire can initiate the review. That's 28 stolen bases now on the season for Devin Flaherty.
And that's an important run. That would be the deciding factor if Marist is not able to score in the top of the 5th.
Waycaser. Not going to be deep enough. Shea Walsh under it, so the runner stays in scoring position. Freshman leading this staff with a .97 ERA.
You got to toot what Mac Leonard did. I mean, 4 innings pitched.
This one rolls to Flaherty, who tosses to Mac Leonard, who's moved over to first base.
But this is the change that you're starting to see a little bit, bringing in that lefty. I mean, 12-0 on the season, great ERA. Has that good rise ball, that good curveball, legit lefty spin, throws hard. Compliments Mac Leonard well.
Pinch hitter Megan Davis in the 7th spot. You like this too for McKenna Reed. I mean, she's a freshman getting the first taste of postseason.
Yep. Yeah, that you don't know what you don't know. And she's someone that, without getting to live it and be on the field and feel those emotions of what the postseason feels like, it's a good opportunity for her to go out and get her feet wet. She's been consistent for them all year long.
And she's ahead 0-2 on Davis. McKenna Reed, an all ACC 2nd team selection, all freshman team. She was a top 25 finalist for the National Freshman of the Year. Coming all the way from Portland, Oregon to play in Tallahassee.
And originally signed to go to NC State.
Yeah, decommitted from NC State.
Yep.
Wanted to challenge herself. And so she reached out to the Florida State coaching staff and asked for a chance. Reed shaking off the first pitch. That one worked pretty well. Nice adjustment from the freshman, her first strikeout.
And even though Coach Lonnie Alameda calls the pitches, she wants her pitchers to shake if there's something in their gut they feel like they want. In this moment, McKenna Reed wants to go with the rise ball up in the zone against the pinch hitter Davis, gets the big time K.
Two down for Hannah Brock. Foul ball. Mac Leonard, who's shifted over to first base. You mentioned it, Danielle. No hits, no runs, walked one, struck out two.
50 pitches and 30 of those were strikes. She was efficient. Used that drop ball well, spread the zone well. I think anytime that you go into the postseason and you don't give up a hit, that's a pretty good day.
Back-to-back Ks. McKenna Reed, she's ready for the postseason. Florida State, it took one time to go through the order to figure out the pitchers. Kylie Myers getting the start today for Marist, and then in the fifth, they exploded for 5 runs. We've seen a pitching change since then, and Maddie Pleasance will stay in the circle for the Red Foxes.
And the goal for Maddie Pleasance right now is just go out and try to execute, throw good pitches. I mean, if we're thinking about the score, we're not present with what we're trying to do. And this is a team that has not got to experience the postseason. This is a first time for all of these young ladies. So it's just that fight mentality all the way. And also respecting your hitters, knowing that a Michaela Enfield, even down there in the 7 spot, highly dangerous.
Speed change, nice pitch for Maddie Pleasance. Back to back. Two now to Michaela Enfield.
She does such a good job, Pleasance, just with her body and how efficient she is on that off-speed pitch. You can just tell that hitter's a little bit fooled. We've seen her throw 3 changeups so far in this at-bat to Enfield. And wouldn't be surprised if you potentially see something else. Maybe a little off-speed here.
Enfield will take the free pass. First walk issued today by Maddie Pleasance. She entered in the 4th inning. So Enfield representing the winning run at first. Katie Dack back up for the 2nd time. It'll be the first time she's seen Maddie Pleasance. Ross pinch running at first for Enfield. Ross, 18 stolen bases on the season. She's at first right now. lifted it, attacked it, called game. Katie Dack walks it off. And a third no-hitter for Florida State.
Wow. 3 home runs for Florida State today on the day. Fans came out big. Players stepped up, didn't get worried at all first time through the lineup, not being able to put up any runs, and then found a way.